Hello and welcome to a special spacefaring deck tech where I'm going to talk about terraforming in cEDH. So let's get right into it as I show you how it's done. Yeah, you watch a movie once and your entire feed becomes filled with it, so I apologize for the Demon Hunter reference. I literally have my front page filled with metal and rock covers of their songs, and once the meme started I had become one with the Matrix. Anyways, Hearthhull, the world seat for a generic black, a red and a green pip, is a legendary artifact spacecraft. For those that missed the rules update with Edge of Eternities, now legendary vehicles and spacecraft can be your commanders as long as they have a printed power and toughness on the front side. Easy, right? So our terraforming seed here has a station. Think of it as saddle because of the sorcery speed, but unlike saddle or crew, station accumulates the amount of power you tap into it and stores it with charge counters. So once it has 2 or more counters on it for one generic and tap it, sacrifice a land, draw 2 cards, you may play an additional land this turn. Once it hits 8 or more charge counters, it has flying, vigilance and haste, is a 6/7, and whenever you sacrifice a land, each opponent loses 2 life. In short, you have card advantage and graveyard filling in the command zone. Now let's hope this Jund land deck will perform better than the last time I played Jund lands on the channel. Yes, I'm making the deck tech before the recording session as it is only planned but has not happened yet. I must say I was busy, but I digress, so let's listen to the Call of the Void and what it can provide. The first 3 obvious includes are the 2 keys, namely Voltaic Key and Manifold, along with our new toy Tezzeret Cruel Captain. All 3 of these untap our commander, and Tezzeret also helps to look for keys along with any other artifact that costs 1 or less, and we have a plethora of those. Our main goal obviously is to activate our commander as many times as possible in a turn, draw a bunch of cards and win in a few possible ways. So let's look at the win cons. Obviously I have a dual caster with Twin Flame or Molten Duplication to make infinite 2/2s with haste and swing for the win. This one is easy, so let's look at another, namely my Brood Kiki combo. So for this one you need Kiki Jiki in your yard, can be pulled there with a multitude of ways like Entomb for example, and you want to exile it with Hazel's Brewmaster. The Brewmaster will make you a food token that has the activated ability of Kiki Jiki, and since it's an artifact it can go right away to make a hasty copy of Hazel. Notably, this copy does not need to exile anything to make that food token, you just get it and you keep going and going and going, making more food, and with that you have a new army of Brewmasters with haste, and just like the previous combo you swing for the win. Next combo enabler with our commander is always the lovely and fun Underworld Breach, and even if our commander can help us fill the yard a little, we have more ways to do that. For example, I have a Stitcher Supplier and Culling the Weak. This can mill the library, make us some mana, and once the library is gone, for example, you can find an Oracle from an opponent using Praetor's Grasp. It's not easy always and it is pod dependent, and you have to make 2 blue mana, but you know, that's the least of our concerns. If we got no opponent that runs Oracle, we can, thanks to the storm of casting Stitcher and Culling, also use Tendrils of Agony to drain our opponents to an early grave. If Stitcher and Culling the Weak are lost or unavailable for some reason, there's always Lion's Eye Diamond and Malevolent Rumble, or any other 0 mana rocks, and Grinding Station. Finally, as mentioned, this is a Jundi land deck, so obviously I have brought a Valakut with me and Dryad of Elysian Groves to help us make each of our lands a mountain. Sacrificing the lands is also easy because squandered resources are in the deck and Splendid Reclamation should give them back to us. Deal damage to our opponents, we sacrifice them again, and thanks to the aforementioned breach and some mill effects, the Valakut path is also open. I am sure there can be more Valakut focused builds for this deck, but for me it's like option C or D. Also keep in mind Hearthhull has that second ability where sacrificing land causes each opponent to lose 2 life, so even without Valakut or Tendrils we can drain our opponents out of the game. The One Ring protection can't even save them from this thanks to it being loss of life. Speaking of the One Ring that is also in the deck, since we got so many keys and untappers for artifacts, it's almost the backup commander for this deck. How about that? As this is a land deck, I included some more land matter cards. There is a Tireless Provisioner to make us more mana to use when we need it, along with a Lotus Cobra for mana acceleration, and I even put a Horizon Explorer from the Precon into this deck to make sure the lands come in untapped when needed. The second ability on it will hardly ever matter, but it is here because it can be. Speaking of lands, there is obviously a Crucible of Worlds, so the lands can be replayed from the yard directly in case none were drawn. Speaking of drawing, I also include a new spicy edition from Beyond the Edge. That is the End Stone, which draws us cards anytime we do basically anything. Play a land, draw a card. Play a spell, draw a card. Hearthhull enables us to play multiple lands, so why not draw 3 cards instead of 2? Or more. Sure, this is a 7 mana artifact, but there are ways to cheat it into play when needed, like with Goblin Welder or Shifting Woodland. The land can become basically anything, so don't sleep on its potential. It is amazing. Now, some of you have already pressed the link to the deck that can be found below, but if you have not, you are more than welcome, since the rest of the deck is efficient removal, ramp, card draw, and tutors to get us into a winning situation as fast as possible. And while you are looking at it, or pausing the image before you, don't worry, I'll wait a second longer. There. Happy now? Let's look at some opening hands. Hand 1. Dark Ritual, Lionside Diamond, Underworld Breach, Lotus Petal, Bloodstained Mire, Vampiric Tutor, and Tendrils of Agony. Now this hand is mostly mana, and also having in the opening hand a Breach and Tendrils may not be that effective. The turn 1 Tutor is nice, can get us anything maybe, and there is a chance for a turn 2 Endstep Adnos for the win. Part of me says this hand is great, another part of me says this is a trap. I will probably keep it and hope for a good top deck to try to do a turn 2 Nos, but yeah, living on a prayer for a second land since I want to crack the LED once Breach is in play, or I have a Shifting Woodlands in play. Hand 2. Ancient Tomb, Mana Vault, Kiki-Jiki, Orcish Lumberjack, Forest, Soul Ring, Veil of Summer. Look at all that colorless mana and nothing really to do with it. And especially that orc is so sad thanks to that lonely forest. Nah, toss it away and move for something better. Hand 3. Verdant Catacombs, Sylvan Library, Carpet of Flowers, Pyroblast, Tinderwall, Command Tower, Demonic Tutor. A solid hand, not great, but also not terrible. You can start doing a setup for mana with Carpet and Library after turn 2 might draw you some cards, but it does feel like this is a safe hand rather than balls to the wall. However, sometimes that is a hand you want to keep, depending on pot composition you're in the chain link of players. Consider that before you mulligan. But once more, let's look at one more opening hand example with Mox Diamond, Blood Crypt, Gamble, Kiki-Jiki, Twin Flame, Swamp, Elvish Spirit Guide. This one feels a little off. There is a mana and 2 halves of 2 combos, one of which should be in the yard rather. Maybe I should put another combo piece to Kiki-Jiki into this deck, but you know what? I will let you decide while you are building your own version of this deck. First, should there be another place to combo off with Kiki-Jiki? And second, would you keep this hand? I myself am not too optimistic on it. Praying for a good top deck has more often gotten me killed than saved me. But who am I to judge? I'm just one guy, here, presenting a fun cEDH deck for you, while also having a personal bracket 2 deck version of this deck, which is a lot of fun. And what more could I possibly ask for, Well, I hope you enjoyed this little deck tech. I will have a chance to talk to you soon again about some more special surprises, so subscribe to never miss an upload. Remember also that coming Thursday you have another fun gameplay episode coming, and as always, I was your host, Daph, and I will see you all behind the veil.